Swimming by Mac Miller is one of my favorite albums of all time. But something I don't think is discussed enough is the album cover and what it truly represents. And to me, this cover is really special. There's so much to talk about and unpack in terms of the album itself and also Mac's overall legacy and where he was in his life when he made the album. So I want to break down some of my theories about this album cover for all of you. And there's a lot of meaning behind this cover art that I think just goes unnoticed. In a way, this cover actually incorporates themes from all his other album covers in one. So we could just start with Blue Slide Park. If you look at the shape of this coffin, it's really similar to the shape of the slide on the Blue Slide Park cover art. And just like on Swimming, when you look at the Watching Movies cover art, we have a picture of Mac sitting right in the middle of the shot, which is really similar to how he's sitting on the cover of Swimming. And if you look at all of the white space surrounding Mac here, it's also a lot like Good AM, where there's just white space all around Mac's head. And this is probably the most subtle one, but look at the color of Mac's suit and the blue background behind him. It's a lot like the cover of The Divine Feminine, where you have that same exact pink and the blue sky. Not only does this cover actually pull from his previous album covers, but it's also genius because Swimming is such a culmination of all his past music. It takes all of the best elements from Mac's previous albums and puts them all together in a new body of work that is so representative of his growth and his evolution, but everything just comes together more masterfully. For example, we have those soft and sweet melodies that he gave us on Divine Feminine. I think it also takes a lot of ideas from Good AM, where even though he did this in all his albums, he really grappled with his life and death. And there's even a song on Good AM where he says, and that's actually what's happening in this cover, where we have a glimpse of heaven at the top, and then when we look towards the bottom, we see that he's in a coffin. He also keeps that trippy, introspective, and self-aware attitude that he had on Watching Movies, and then he brings in that more playful vibe that he was known for on albums like Blue Slide Park and even Kids. So what is Mac trying to say with this album cover? When I'm looking at the cover, the first thing I notice is this window, and this is a really unique type of window that you really only see in one place. So at first glance, it looks like Mac is on some sort of plane, but when you look further, you realize that it's actually a coffin. And to add to that, Mac is wearing a suit, which is what people usually wear when they're buried, and he has bare feet, which is a universal symbol of death. And on top of that, his feet are dirty, which kind of gives the impression that he is close to the earth, which is the exact opposite of what we're seeing up here, where he's up above the clouds in the sky. And just from that alone, it definitely seems like it could be a reach, but when we watch the Self-Care music video, I think this theory makes a lot more sense. So in this album cover, we have this duality, which really gets at the heart of what's going on Swimming. So why is this important? I think this really goes back to what the main idea of Swimming is. Because on one hand, Swimming is about Mac being extremely transparent and vulnerable, and really just laying out all his demons, all his vices, all his struggles. But on the other hand, we also have this ray of positivity throughout the album, this ray of hope, where even though there's all these things holding him down, he's still able to swim and stay above the surface. And even when he can't and when he fails, he still continues to try and strive to improve himself, to improve his life, and to be the best version of himself that he can. So to me, him swimming is really in between these two versions of himself. One which is more like the carefree, wide-eyed, and innocent child that he started out his career as, and then the other extreme is all the self-destructive behaviors that he ventured into when the pressures of fame and his struggles with addiction reached their highest point. I think what makes Swimming so special is that Mac actually takes you into his mind in the process of becoming a better human being, in his process of overcoming these vices and these issues that he's had. He's not just looking back and telling you, yeah, I did it and everything's great now. He's showing you the positivity and the hope and the light, the happiness, being above the clouds. And then we also see the darkness, Mac's biggest struggles, his negative impulses, and the album takes us through all of that from top to bottom. And I think that's what makes this album so therapeutic, is that Mac recognizes that his flaws are what makes him human. Those imperfections are part part of being alive and that there's beauty in that. And he shows us that it's possible to love and forgive yourself despite the problems that you're facing, and that you can keep swimming. Because at the end of the day, we're all a little fucked up in our own way, but swimming teaches us to accept ourselves, flaws and all, and to just keep trying and striving to be better. So if you're a Mac fan watching my channel for the first time, I want you to subscribe right now, and here's why. I'm announcing right here in this video a brand new series that's going to break down swimming song by song. The first episode is going to be coming out in the next couple weeks, so turn on those notifications so you don't miss it. I'm super excited for that. And a lot of you have been asking me where I got this poster of Mac, so I've actually partnered with the artist Nasheed Chroma, and you can check out all of his hip-hop inspired art at the link in the description, and you'll also get 15% off your order. And also make sure to check out some of my other videos right there. And most important of all, remember, don't trip.